They say words are just noise, but the right words, said with presence, can bend reality, because attraction isn't about charm, it's about gravity, the kind that pulls without reaching. So when the world demands your approval, when people test your energy, when chaos wants to break your calm, you say these 6 words: I don't need your validation. That's it. Simple, but lethal, because these words don't beg. They declare. They tell the world you've already chosen yourself. And when you choose yourself, everything and everyone starts choosing you. The center of your universe, not arrogance, not ego, awareness. I is the point from which everything begins. Before you can command the world, you must command yourself. Before you can lead, you must first see clearly where you stand. Most men drift through life disconnected from that center. They chase approval, purpose, love, but never stop to realize that everything they seek is orbiting around the one thing they've neglected, the self. When a man says I with clarity, he becomes unshakable. His presence sharpens. His words gain weight. He no longer tries to fill the silence, he owns it. Because I is not noise. It's identity. It's the moment you remember that you are not the echo of other people's opinions. You are the source. This is where Stoicism begins, not in indifference, but in awareness. Awareness of your thoughts, awareness of your emotions, awareness of your limits and your power. The man who knows where he stands doesn't need to shout. His calm speaks louder than any roar. He acts from stillness, not from panic. He chooses what deserves his energy and what doesn't. When you master I, you master gravity. You stop orbiting others and make them orbit you. Because confidence is not about saying, I am better. It's about saying, I am enough. So before you speak, before you move, before you react, return to that single, silent word, I, the axis of your being, the root of all power, the point where control is born, and the place where no one can touch you, rejection. The quiet sword of power, the ability to say no and mean it. Most men fear rejection because they've never understood its strength. They think, no, closes doors. But in truth, it opens freedom. It draws the line between what serves you and what drains you. When you say, don't, you define yourself. You are no longer a puppet to emotion, pressure, or desire. You become deliberate, measured, unmoved. Don't is restraint, the hardest form of control. It's saying no to anger when provoked, no to weakness when tempted, no to chaos when peace is at stake. The weak man says yes to everything because he's afraid of loss. The strong man says no because he values himself more than approval. He knows that every don't is a declaration of discipline, and discipline is the language of kings. When you refuse to bend, you become unbreakable, because people can only manipulate those who need something from them. But a man who can walk away, who can stand silent in the face of seduction, fear, or pressure, holds the upper hand without ever raising his voice. Don't is the moment you protect your soul from dilution. It's the invisible armor that guards your boundaries, your focus, your energy, in a world obsessed with more pleasure, more validation, more noise. Don't is your rebellion. It's your filter, your control, your freedom. So say it when the world tempts you to compromise. Say it when weakness whispers. Say it when your peace is tested. Don't. The simplest word that keeps you undefeated. This is detachment, the silent power that separates men who chase from men who attract. Need is hunger, and hunger exposes weakness. When you need something too much, you give it power over you. You trade your calm for craving, your control for chaos. The Stoic man understands this truth. Need is the seed of suffering. Every time you say, I need, you place your peace in someone else's hands. You make your worth conditional. You start bleeding energy for what was never yours to own. But when you stop needing, you stop bleeding. You become whole again. Your actions rise from clarity, not desperation. You move because you choose to, not because you must. That's the essence of detachment. It's not that you stop caring. You simply stop clinging. You can love without losing yourself. You can give without expecting anything back. You can walk away without collapsing. A man who doesn't need approval, money, or attention to feel powerful radiates something rare: stillness, presence, authority. Need makes you chase. Detachment makes you magnetize. When you no longer seek validation, people feel it, and they move toward you. Because your energy says, "I am complete." So the next time you feel that pull, the urge to beg, to prove, to win someone over, pause, breathe. Remember who you are without it. Because freedom begins the moment you can look at everything you want and whisper, "I don't need it." That's not weakness. That's power, purified, unshakable, calm, and infinite. Ownership returned. The moment you draw the line and reclaim what's yours. Your thoughts, your peace, your direction. For too long, men hand over ownership of their lives. They let others decide how they should feel, act, or live. They let opinions shape their confidence and validation define their worth. But your is the turning point, the rebellion against that surrender. When you say your, you declare, "This belongs to me. My emotions are mine. My time is mine. My energy is mine. No one else gets to dictate how you feel or who you become." That's the essence of masculine ownership. Quiet, grounded control over the self. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. The weak man gives his power away piece by piece, through arguments, approval seeking, and fear of rejection. The strong man reclaims it in silence. He understands that sovereignty begins within. You define your worth, not them. Those words cut deep because they expose how much we've given away. Every time you let someone's opinion decide your value, you abandon your throne. And a man without a throne is a man at the mercy of the crowd. But when you reclaim your mind, you become untouchable. You act from purpose, not pressure. You move with certainty, not confusion. You don't beg for respect. You command it through your composure. Your is not selfishness. It's sacred responsibility. It's knowing that your mind is a kingdom and you are its ruler, so guard it. Protect it. Reign over it with clarity and calm. Because the moment you reclaim your, you stop being a follower and become a force. The drug that weak men crave. The silence that strong men master. Validation, it's invisible, addictive, and deadly. It's what makes men perform instead of lead. It's what makes them chase approval instead of purpose. The world is full of noise. Likes, comments, opinions, applause, and every piece of it whispers the same poison. You're only enough when others say so. That's how they control you. They feed your ego until you forget your essence. But the Stoic man learns the art of withdrawal. He stops feeding on validation and starts feeding on truth. He understands that real strength isn't built in the spotlight. It's forged in silence, because the moment you stop chasing approval, you start radiating dominance. You no longer perform, you embody. You no longer explain, you exist. People can sense it. They feel that calm defiance, that quiet certainty. You don't need to prove your worth, you carry it. And that makes you magnetic. Validation is the leash society puts around your neck. They'll tug at it with compliments, with criticism, with attention. But when you stop reacting, when you remain still, the leash falls away. You become unpredictable, untouchable, free. The strong man doesn't need to be seen to know he matters. He doesn't chase applause. He builds results. He doesn't depend on admiration. He creates impact. So let the crowd cheer. Let them doubt. Let them talk. Because your validation doesn't live in their eyes. It lives in your spine, in the way you stand, breathe, and move through the world without ever asking for permission. Say it slowly. Let it echo through your bones. Because these 6 words are not a phrase. They're a philosophy. They separate the man who reacts from the man who rules himself. I don't need your validation. It's calm. It's final. It's the verbal sword that cuts the strings others try to pull. When you live by these words, you no longer beg to be seen. You stop explaining yourself to people who will never understand. You stop performing for those who only watch to judge. You stand tall, steady, silent, sovereign. This sentence is armor, every word another layer of protection around your peace. Because power isn't loud, it doesn't chase, it simply is. The world will test you. They'll question your choices, your emotions, your worth. They'll try to pull you into arguments, approval games, and emotional traps. But you don't play. You don't justify. You don't beg to be understood. You just breathe, hold your posture, and whisper, "I don't need your validation." And in that moment, something shifts. The energy changes. They feel your detachment, not as arrogance, but as strength. You've reclaimed your gravity. They orbit you now. This sentence is your boundary, your mantra, your silent rebellion. It reminds you that your value was never up for debate, that your peace is not a prize for others to grant. It's your birthright. So the next time someone tries to shake your calm, don't explain, don't prove, don't chase. Just say these 6 words and walk away like a storm. Quiet, powerful, unforgettable.